C.U.E.
The podcast you have been waiting for.
6 friends, 6 opinions, infinite laughs.
You're watching history in the making.
You don't have to open up your eyes, you can clearly see.
The #1 podcast is C.U.E. 20 years of brotherhood. The Q La Familia. Raw, uncut, uncensored, and unfiltered. Bub's opinionated. Why Eddie keep you laughing? Steve will get the tea while Shot tells us all what's happening. Spiritual or natural, I'm here for the thrills. And when it comes to PJ, y'all, please say the real. From quick hits, heavy lifting, the mass to the week, we getting ratings through the roof every time that we speak. PA, VA, GA to the Aspens, turning podcasts into under-table has-been. Sports, entertainment, and current events. Sometimes we get pissed, so the crew got a vent. So when Friday night come, you know just what to do. Sit back, put up your feet, and now rocking with the Q. Really good, people. You already know what it is, and you are with the one and only GQ podcast, and you rocking with the Q. That's GCUE, not to be affiliated with the magazine of the company. Please excuse Bub's face. I don't know what's going on right now. But we're going to go around to the introductions from the usual suspects, as I like to call them. We're going to start with Bub. Let's go.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Like, I don't know if that was an insult or just an introduction, but welcome everybody. Like, damn, my man, you just gonna say you don't know something about my face. Like, it's about my face. Like, damn, like, we just gonna start off with tension for this love month, no doubt. We do got listeners, bro. They don't even see my face, my man.
We gonna go on to Steve. What's really good?
Yo.
There you have it. You gonna go up real, and I say when you see him in the street, you must say the real. PJ.
Yo, Bub had the Bill Cosby face on for some reason. It's like somebody was just like poking me with pudding pops or something the whole time. I don't know what was going on.
Yo.
Oh man.
Hilarious. Now, as you can see, our Steelers fan, 2-time Q champ, is not with us today, but shout outs to Eddie. And we're going to go down to ATL, Mr. Suave Magazine itself. Shop. Let's get it.
Yo, what up, people? What up? PJ, real quick. I think I was listening to last week's episode, and I think you asked me a question. You said, what music was I listening to in middle school and high school? Mm-hmm. Was you talking about just hip-hop, or are you talking about music in general? Because listening back at it, I don't think I answered your question properly.
We were talking about hip-hop, so that was the question, but I want to know in general, what was you listening to?
Okay, that's fair. I'm not answering that question.
Oh, wow.
So,
Bring it up.
What are we doing here?
If you was listening to Celine Dion, it's all right, man. Just say you was listening to Celine Dion.
Okay, real shit. You was listening to Celine Dion. I wasn't. Yeah, exactly. That was your thing.
I had a wide variety of music. Country, Western, classical. That's all me.
I wasn't listening to Celine Dion, but I did listen to a lot of R&B. I listened to a lot of I didn't listen to a lot of pop at that time, but a lot of R&B at that point. So my bad if I didn't answer that question correctly. Honestly, I had to hear it a lot. I had to hear it a lot. And then I listened to the song while I was editing it. I still don't understand what the fuck they was talking about.
Yeah, I listened to it too, man.
It's just a classic, man. It's just
it doesn't make sense. All right. So we've been asked a couple times like how long we've been friends, and we know that it's been like over 20 years. So yeah. But real shit. In 20 years, we've had ups and downs. We had
in and outs.
You know.
Nah, come on, man. What are you? We're not gonna go in and out. Come on, man. No. Yeah, we're about to mute you in a second.
Ups and downs can be just as inappropriate as in and out. So, I mean, I just like.
Nah, in and outs is a lot worse than ups and downs.
We're just adding on to it, man.
You about to get your friendship certificate of participation in your 20-year watch and have to go.
What'd you say, Steve?
So basically, like the question after watching some other stuff, how do you maintain 20 plus years of friendship with all the growth and life changes and everything else, and still be able to, rekindle friendships at this stage this long?
One thing you gotta do
be real.
is lie about having a
more
job.
Like 30 plus at this point.
No,
we approaching. We got we 30.
no. Fuck
I mean,
yeah,
as
you're
a
right.
collective, I mean,
Maybe not as a
here's the
collective,
thing.
but we
As a collective,
Yeah,
we
I
technically
knew shot over
established.
30 years.
I'm saying now we established the Q in '96, which is ironic, and it's 2023, so it will be like 30 years in 3 years, which is remarkable when you think about it. But
True story.
you know, I think like most friendships, like I don't know about the sincerity of a friendship if it doesn't have like an up and down, because you have multiple personalities. So I think like when you deal like even that's even like 1 to 2 people.
Basically,
like,
it is in
you know what I'm saying? So to some, like for me, I just think that it's always about timing, understanding, maturity, and wherever people's places are, like mentally.
Yeah.
For me, that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I can't stand y'all niggas, so I mean.
but see, it's different when we already know that though. So
Exactly.
Right. And it's
You know what I
acceptable now, right?
Yeah.
But now, real talk, I just want to say, man, I think people, and it's not just now, they like to say now it just started. That ain't true. People like to put the term friend out there on people. You can't really consider friend. They use the term too loosely, so to speak. Like when you say friend, like, I mean, we had to go through something for you to be my homie or my friend, to be considered a friend back in the day. Or either we just had that, you know what I mean? It was a bond or whatever. Now you meet somebody, oh, that's my friend John, and you just met him yesterday. That's not a friend. That's somebody you just met. You see what I'm saying? And I think that becomes a problem right there.
I think that actually causes issues with some people because it is used so loosely. It's like, oh, that's your friend. And it's like, nah, I mean, like we cool, but it's like we not. Yeah. That's not somebody I want to call when some shit's going on. So I think it's used real loosely, but I think back then, like your friendships were different because there wasn't social media. So whoever you called your friend are people that you actually associated yourself with. Everybody else, like, you cool with that person, but we not friends for real. We just cool. Like, you somebody from the hood. Like,
yo, but forget all them other people. The people want to know about us. They watching us right now. They want to know how you get 6 black men to rekindle or re-engage or just even come together to be a collective of great personalities, great interviews, great conversation. Like, how do we get here? We don't worry about them other friends, because them other friends know where their places are. But when people see us, people always ask us, hey, what's up with the podcast? Hey, how long y'all been friends? Do y'all ever argue? Hey, what happened to this? So
do y'all ever argue?
Do we?
if there was photos of a group text, like fucking arguments they're mandatory damn near.
Put it this way, we done had some epic arguments.
I think when you get to a point to where you accept the person for who they are and what they bring to the table, I think that's when you realize that these are lifelong friends. You know what I mean? Let's be real. I've always been the friend that disappears or doesn't show up or doesn't answer calls, right?
Can you say that again? Don't try to.
Yo, hold on, because confession good. Hold on, don't stop it. Let him roll with it.
It was a hell of a confession, but he said, let's be honest. He tried to
I'm just curious.
say that again a little louder.
But no, confession good. I may not always answer my call, or I may not show up in certain places or whatever. But
you forgot my favorite one though. What's that? When you act like you be at work.
Definitely gotta lie about having a job.
You know what I mean? But when you're able to accept things like that from people, realizing that that's a part of who they are, not necessarily that they're being malicious. I think that's when you're able to actually continue your friendship. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to snub you just because that's just who I am. Professional snubber.
Yeah, professional snubber.
Yeah.
A professional snubber.
Snubber extraordinaire.
Oh gosh.
No, I think honestly what happens is, even within the collective of friendship, at certain points in life, everyone gravitates towards someone else in that circle in a different way. So like everybody has like their space where it's like you were closer to this person at this point, you were rocking with this person more at that point. And I think is healthy because you get those different aspects from different people. It's weird because it's like I I've known Bub the longest, but Bub wasn't even my friend. He was Von's friend. And I was just like the third dude there running around the damn bush. It's weird because
definitely the bush.
that's what I mean. So it's like for a while, like we didn't reconnect for years. And then like when we did, it was just like it just clicked back in again. So it's kind of strange, but I think that makes it work. Like everybody has their moment in that 20 years where it's like you click with that person a little bit more.
What you got, Books? You got Steve? What you got?
I got a question. Let me ask y'all. What's one of the main things y'all think? What's one of the main things y'all think, like consistent things? If you could say two things that like really, really define a friendship, in your opinion, because we all different men, might have different opinions. Two things that you think that you got like need to be there or are consistent with a healthy friendship in general.
I can't think of two things that like two bullet points that every friend meets, and like I like that's the thing. Like I mean, I fucks with y'all my brothers. Like I don't really have a checklist. Like yes, PJ, Bub, and Shad, Eddie, and Bugs all do this. Like nah, hell no. Like that's not really what life's about.
I think maturity, understanding, like you said, that's the thing. But I think during certain periods of your life, whatever you're like into, and people that have the same interests at the same time, because like you said, this is still considered a large group. And like you said, like we were just laughing like 3 years from now, it'll be 30 years since we called ourselves the Q in Hampton, Virginia in 1996. And when you think of that, we've only been
Room 112.
Yeah, Room 112. You know, we were kids, like we were teenagers. Like your common thing right there is, oh my God, look at girls. You know what I mean? Like look at the girls and having fun in school. But what collectively takes place is people have families, kids, divorces, people die. You know what I mean? Like you have a lot of things that take place, and you also, as a group and as an individual, find yourself where you have to get nurturing for you. You know what I mean? And I think like the Q had to have a point where it just kind of separated because everybody was going through their different things. And if you listen to our podcast for, over these 2 years, you've seen that, there's been people having different things for whatever reason, because we've talked about a lot of things. And I think those take place. And sometimes even with your friends, you're not necessarily ready to talk these things out as a collective. You may have one person that you can rely on to say something, but it might not even be in that group because it's a different way you look at each friend because they provide different things for you.
Sure.
I just think that true friendship always comes around. I think like you can always be able to reach out to that person, no matter if you ain't talking months or you may not talk in a few days, but you can reconnect and it just kind of picks back up where you can kind of rehash the old shit, but the new shit just fits seamlessly. I think that's a friendship.
Shot of PJ.
My
thing. Oh, all right.
Yeah, like Bub said, or Steve said, I don't really feel like there's any one particular thing that anybody has to possess to, necessarily be your friend. But I think it's just the actions over time, just being able to vibe with somebody. Honestly, if you look at it, we all had one thing in common. Not saying that we don't have more than that, but it was one thing in common that we all had, which was playing an instrument. That was the one thing that brought us all together at collectively. So, but from there, you can find many other things. Because think about it, we're in a band with several other people, and all those people aren't a part of this collective. You know what I mean? So you still have to find something outside of that one thing that you all have in common. I mean, like with Steve, I got paid to be his friend. his mom knew my mom, and she was like, he don't really got many friends. I was like, all right, sure, I'll do it. You know what I mean? So we had, we both played the instrument. Then we also had
That's
that in
not
common
actually
that our
true.
parents knew each other. But,
There was no exchange of funds.
yeah, look, you don't know what got in my bank account, man.
No,
I'm just saying.
You know what? You're right.
But after that initial payment, I was like, yo, he is cool. I don't need to keep getting paid for that.
I mean,
Whatever, nigga.
do we even? But yo, on that note though, like, does anyone here really even remember like when we just decided like that we just really decided that we was like, yo, we hot like that. We just gonna make this the collective. Like before we even like, I mean, I remember around the time like we do know 96, but like what made us just really start like vibing like that? That anybody got anything to put to it that can?
When we
I think
PJ's name off of the room and put him on our room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it really was that trip. Like that trip was.
It was.
The trip was crazy. The trip was crazy.
Bananas. But since we on this subject, I wanted to put out there. I'm not saying it's a requirement, and it's not even about requirement. It's about certain things you look for in people, or certain things that people have. It's a quality that you may be drawn to, and you may not even realize it, that most of the people in your circle possess it. Because it took me years to realize that most of the people that I'm close to possess one quality. And I started thinking to myself, like I had to do a self-examination, like, is that what it is? Is that one thing that, like, is that how my circle's chosen, or is that how I base the people that I be around? And that one thing is like, I'm a real loyal person to fault. Like, to fault, I'm loyal. Like, even if you not there, I'm not gonna let nobody talk bad about you. I'm not gonna let nobody do this. I'm just loyal to a fault, and I could be trusted. And I think those are two things that I look for in other people. And everybody, I promise, whether it be church, whether it be work, whether it be school, whether it be wherever, they always possess those same two qualities. And if not, then it's not that I don't associate with them, but I look at them more as an associate than a true friend. And that's why I ask y'all fellas if it's any things that y'all look for, in any of your bonds or friendships and stuff like that.
I just don't like boring people.
That's a good point.
Like
That's
if
the thing.
if you boring, like that's not gonna work.
Why?
Just because it's like if
So you like toxic or boring? What's the difference? We'll spice this dialogue up a little.
No,
bit.
I think everybody has. I think everybody has like a little, like a sprinkle of toxicity in them. I think everybody has that thing. It's just it's a different part of your life. It doesn't really show up all the time, but everybody has a little bit of toxic in them. But boring's just like when you question like, how the fuck am I even friends with you? Because like this shit just. You're boring. Like you're not funny. You don't want to do nothing. Like it's just you're just there. Like that doesn't work for me.
So then, how did that person ever even become your friend or associate?
Sometimes
it's just Sometimes it's just like people that like you might work with them. They might be like a friend of a friend that just come around, and then like you find yourself around that person all the time. It's just it's weird. It's not somebody that you sought out and was like, oh, we cool, like we gonna be friends. It's just you're just here, but you're boring as hell. So I don't understand how you're here.
But we talking about us, so none of us.
That sounds mean.
You know what I mean? Like PJ tries to play.
That's what I'm saying. Like collectively, like
individually though, like everybody here has a crazy personality for real. Like
yeah,
most definitely.
And to get into that, like I think like people ask. Like you said, because we keep saying 20 years, but it's actually closer to 30 years. And
it's over 25.
25, you're right.
No, I said it's over 25, yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is that, like, when you think about it, like, the fights, the separation, like, that's what people really want to hear. And, like, what kind of fights and what kind of things do you learn from these separations of times and things? Like, what type of things take place over the time with 6 friends that's in a collective?
I think PJ hit that. It's like it's not malicious. I think we have disagreements, and then within those disagreements, we might not articulate ourselves the best way, or you might just shut down and like pull back. It's just it's a matter of like what happens. I don't think anything's ever been like a malicious act to where it's like you feel betrayed. For me, I don't think that's ever happened. Personally, I moved a lot, so like me moving from like state to state and different regions and shit, there became distance in friendships. But it's like there's always at some point somebody hits you up and be like, "Yo, what's up?" And that just like reconnects it again. And it might be months at a time. It might be like a year. And a lot of times that was my fault because I was in my own world so much that I wasn't reaching out as much as I should. So it's understanding that when those things happen, like I wasn't trying to like be distant, or I wasn't trying to like not speak to people. It wasn't happening in the opposite direction either. It's just life's. And sometimes there's just times where you have that distance.
How about you, Bugs? You think like the funniest thing is like you touched on it, like the group thread. Me and Bugs known each other for a long time. We've been through a lot of shit. So
Yo,
like,
people can't argue like we argue. They can't
like,
do
they
that.
can't
Some
argue
people can't do that.
at the fever pitch that we.
Some people don't want to argue like y'all argue.
Oh,
Nah,
yes,
they
they do.
can't.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Like,
Nah,
like,
damn.
like me and Bugs have been at like a fever pitch. Like, but it's never been, like you said, it's never been
malicious.
super malicious. Nah, niggas get
Nah, I'm
smart.
about to say we get smart, but
Niggas
you know
get smart,
it is what it
like,
is.
You know what I mean? But like,
Hilarious.
bring it back. But what makes it come? What do you think, Bugs, makes it come back? That is still for us to come back to the collective. Because
I mean, I think what it is. I mean, you gotta have like for real. Like people can't even like you can't even put into words sometimes. Like me and Bub go ham. The fellas can tell you, like it didn't got heated. But it's the fact of you say your point, I say my point. You can say whatever. F you, then well it is what it is. Then don't say shit to me. And fuck you. I'm done with this shit. You know what I mean? And then it's like, whatever, man. You gonna hit me up in 2 days, and if you don't, so what? It may be a week, it may be a month, it may be a year. I don't care.
See, that toxic.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and it's but that's what I'm saying. And it's the chemistry too, though. Because it's like the chemistry, and I want to plug that. This group is consistent, and I believe a part of the consistency is the chemistry. And the reason I say that is like you could go to one person for something or talk to one person about something, and then it's like, okay. And then if he tells somebody, it's like, well, it's like I can't even put it into words, but it's like an understanding between everybody involved. And it's like if you got a good team, everybody plays their part. And it's like we all playing parts, but we're not orchestrating it. We just fall into place, be us, and things just always seem to make it do what it do. It just happens. That's why I say some things that happen and some things are meant. Like it just is what it is.
I agree with that, but at the same time, when you have 6 people, there also has to be. Of course, everybody has their own personal relationships and how things get together or how we work together. But I've always looked at it as, I don't know, you may not look at it the same way, but I always felt like Bub is the glue. And the way I say that is because I feel like Bub is the one that has he's able to reach out to each person on a different level. I'm not that person, you know what I mean? I'm not the one that's going to reach out. I'm just being honest, but you know what I mean. But that's just what it is. Yeah, right. Steve is not like that either. You know what I mean? So it's like, but I do feel like Bub is that glue that can keep us all, you know, as a cohesive. You know what I mean? It was Bub's idea for this whole thing that we're doing right now. You know what I mean? But then once we get together, then we also still have to work as a collective.
Bub is that dude, but ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Nobody. But it goes to the point that we all it's I guess to the point though that we all respect and love something that we established as kids, where because we all got friends that we grew up with from hoods because we lived in different environments and things, but like we do you know, you communicate to some of them, but we don't rock with them the same way, even believe them, you know what I mean, hold them in the same regards we do some of this, you know what I mean? Like it's been a, like you said, for a lot of years it's been an off and on struggle with this. So why do we all still come back to it? You know what I mean? Like it's not like an abusive relationship because like you said, it's not, but why does it always seem like it can get like burn us out, exhaust us, or where we'll be like, all right, cool, and there, or we have these conversations, or we have these things about because though I can say and reach out to everybody, but everybody is equal in this whole thing. So everybody's contributions are key. So what do y'all think has everyone come back and always want to do this for real?
Well, I think it go back to that word. I think even when something happens, it's not evil intent behind it. Because I think once you get to the point to where you get that form of toxic, that sometimes there's no coming back from that. Like if you deliberately did something, like if somebody deliberately slept with somebody's ex, or somebody deliberately stole money from somebody, or somebody deliberately messed up somebody's car, or somebody deliberately, you know what I mean? There's certain circumstances and situations, and it's just like there's never no hate that much or comes up that much in this group where it's like, oh, well, I want to hurt him, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to make him lose this, or I'm going to take this from him, or that kind of spite. Because I believe that's the root that really gets involved and messes up a lot of friendships, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no,
like, there's never that level of hurt. Like, never would want to hurt nobody. No matter how angry we get, I'm never going to hurt you. And we can argue now, and that's still, like, even in an argument, ain't nobody else going to say nothing to you or do nothing to you. You know what I mean? That's how it is. It is what it is.
That's true.
But you outgrow friends, but why do we keep coming back to this GQ? You know what I mean? Like
I think, but I
like,
think that's the
quick,
thing.
Hold on, real quick.
I don't know, because I really can't stand John.
Being in bands, like, none of us, outside of PJ, none of us still play our instrument. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So
I
like,
do.
Why do you?
No,
Go
real
grab
talk,
the
I do.
All right, go get
I got the trombone right in there now. I'll be playing. I said I sold my tube, but I still be playing my trombone and stuff though. Real talk.
So what draws us back though?
What you mean draws us back? We ain't never really left. We just separated for certain periods of time.
I think when you have genuine friendships, like there really is no drawback. It's just you have space and gaps, and then you reconnect. And when you reconnect, it's like you never had a space and gap. It's just it's different. It's not like you go into like a high school reunion talking to people that you ain't really fuck with for real in school. Like we've had moments where it's like even outside of school, outside of band, it's like you're still rocking together. So I don't think we had like one thing that was the only thing, which is the only reason that we were friends.
Okay.
So when you have something outside of that, it's easier to just kind of like jump back in where you left off at. But again, when you have growth, so everybody's growing in different ways, and then you're maturing in different ways, and you understand what friendships are, and you accept friendships for what they are. So it's different. And I think Book said something hard. He was like, when you say or it was I might have been PJ. You say you just kind of like accept people for who they are. You accept people for the place they're at. Yeah, and it's like when you realize you're never going to change someone, it's a matter of saying, with you being how you are, can we still be friends? And no one in this circle has anything that is at a level where it's like, with you being that way, I can't fuck with you. Like there's nothing there with anyone that makes you feel that way. Even with all the, arguing bullshit text messages between Bugs and Bub. Make you mute your phone for 3 days. Like these niggas back at it again.
I should have been muted since last summer.
What you guys?
But not even with that, when y'all two, the crazy shit, when y'all two start arguing, like y'all go back and forth, and then there's always like a side text be like, yo, let that shit go. Like Bugs, hit him back up. Like it ain't that serious. And it's always like that mediation from everyone else around the two of y'all. But I think because y'all may not admit it, y'all are so much alike that y'all bump heads so often. And half the time y'all saying the same damn thing, but it's just coming in different ways.
I don't think.
And then when you realize it, y'all like.
It's just the battle of the Larrys, man.
Yeah, y'all. Y'all personality cousins.
We've been through a lot of shit though. Like, you know what I mean? Like
those stuff.
You know what I mean? And I think like we, again, to each relationship, like watch each other evolve and get to a space. You know what I mean? And sometimes, to your point, like the understanding, like you can have a perception of what you want for somebody, but you still gotta allow that person to be who they are, even though you can have a different understanding of what you believe they should be. And I think that can take place and cause people to argue at times, or you know what I mean, and without the communication. And that's, I think, for me, and that's with the whole group as a collective at times. So, you know, I just hold things.
He went through a vacuum. He got up and started vacuuming.
So, one of them things.
Yo, why would I get up and start vacuuming?
So,
Sounds about right.
Yo,
What's
He said,
what's this
he said, I see some crumbs over there from last night. Let me get the crumbs up real quick.
We get these taken care of before I get knocked out.
expectation and
Yo.
understanding is different from people sometimes, and I think that's what causes things to
oh Lord.
abruptly erupt sometimes, because we've had this,
Yeah.
and like people always ask us about this, like, you know what I mean, behind the scenes there is like PJ joke, like he didn't get signed to Joe Budden podcast, he got signed to the Joe
Jim
Biden
Beans.
podcast because he forgot he was gonna go make one. And
Joe
you know what I mean?
Biden.
Yeah, the Joe Biden podcast. You know what I mean?
How do you feel about this topic,
It was
PJ?
like,
No.
you know,
I said, I'm serious. I'm serious about that. That's real.
the same thing that makes you laugh makes you cry. Like, you know what I mean? So like the same love you have is the same intensity that draws you to be whatever sometimes.
Yo, crazy
Like-
shit. Like when Q formed. I think I was a freshman, probably. So for me, it was I already knew Bub, so that was cool. Me and Steve was at the same rec center. Like, we was cool. I knew PJ from middle school band. Like, you reconnect. Bugs was different though, because Bugs was like, at that point to me, Bugs was like the glue of the Q. So it was me living uptown. I would walk from the high to Bugs' house just to chill on his porch until it was time for me to like make my way uptown to get home. And I think because a lot of our circumstances were the same as far as like living situation, having like big families in the house, trying to like find that space where we fit, to the point where
True.
we had like the same thing where the only privacy we had in a house was like a bathroom or a basement, or like you find where you can close the door, and like knowing that somebody else like felt that, understood that, like we clicked heavy at that point. And then I think the worst situation of initiation was young Eddie. We put Eddie through hell. So. Eddie went through hell.
Shout out to
get in the
Eddie though,
queue.
because Eddie did everything.
Yo, Steve was like, go punch him in the face. For real?
They thought this was a trap.
Like, man, we was joking. Like,
Y'all just straight hazed him.
yeah.
We do not
Yeah, we
condone-
did.
First of all, we do not condone hazing.
Yo,
Or
I
friendship.
mean,
Like, that doesn't.
that's what.
Nah, we ain't no non-profit fraternity. Like it was like a hazing.
Nah,
Like
It was
We
hazing.
know
That's not who
that.
we are
But it-
now. But back
But
then,
it was dumb stuff. Like we made him like jump down and roll down the hill at Reservoir Park from like the top to the bottom, and he was like, he just jumped and like tuck rolled and like what the fuck down the hill. It was, like
he wanted.
dude
He
was
really wanted.
he was crazy.
And see, I think that's what it is, though. When you look back at it, like collectively, like I can pinpoint. Yo, it's crazy. Like me and Bugs went to like fucking the Bloomsburg Pride program. We used to have. It was boys and girls over the summer. So you know, as you preteen up to high school, you have that admiration for certain people. Me and Bugs had, and I'm not going to
Joy
say
spelled backwards.
You had joy spelled backwards, but I had admiration for somebody.
Insider,
So had to be family. So if you
Insider.
know Bugs is always trying to get his mans to get some woman. Like, that was the deal with Bugs. Like any woman that was hot in school that he thought, or even if they said hi to you, you had a class with the Bugs, that was his thing. Me and PJ kind of met. Well, we didn't kind of. We met, and we always reference it as the 411. Like we were at Lincoln in middle school, and we both purchased Mary J's bootleg $3 tape of with the 411. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, like again, later on, I met Shad in the earliest of my life. You know, like I said, his family lived by my family, but he was always little brother then. Like, you know what I mean? So then when this motherfucker's taller than me, like it's different. Like, oh shit, like you know, and it's a different type of thing. Steve, same thing. He came up with. Steve just had the same kind of fuck that personality that I had, but he was a little like, you know what I mean? He was younger.
Yo, he did. He was born with that though.
Yeah,
Yo.
you know what I'm saying?
Yo, he
like
was born with that.
It was like that in middle school. Like,
Yeah, so I think,
yo,
I think like
fuck the world.
Yo, I'm telling you, back in the, I know Steve. Now Steve can tell you. Me and Steve go way
Fucking
back. Woodwork, like woodwork, like moms on PTA and stuff, like way back in the day. Library book, Pizza Hut Club, and all that carrying on.
Yeah.
But nah, Steve always been like that. Oh, actuality, Steve used to remind me of that Smurf. They used to always, I hate Smurf. I hate Smurf. I hate
Told you I can't stand y'all niggas, and that's why.
And he's still doing it. I can't stand y'all niggas.
He called you a Smurf,
I hate
though, man.
I
y'all.
know, man. Compared to
He called you- Yo, but he said each Smurf has their own name, but he couldn't even figure out he was just angry Smurf. Like,
Yo,
like
I'm
what was
telling you, even to this day, I hate y'all. I can't stand y'all niggas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think like
I don't like
that-
that topic. That topic ain't for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say this, like
1,000,000%.
like, we was in the band, but I always think that we felt that we was kind of cooler. And I know people gonna see this, but I just always think that we just thought we was a little bit cooler than just some band shit. You don't agree?
I mean,
Yo, we was a unit. It is
fair.
what
Oh
it is.
shit.
A unit. We were a unit. Still
Yo,
are.
but they try to create their own cue and it never works.
I mean, people try to.
Oh, you mean
It's
They
the
try to
DBs?
form their own.
like it
No,
never
the
works.
DLs? What was the name? DBs, DLs? What was the name?
Everything.
It didn't work.
Even the little the females try to start their little crews.
And then-
And I
It's not the same.
I think we was always good at shit that we did. I thought we was really actually cool guys. Like when you, like for the most part, when people see us, like we're still considered like, oh man, I know him. Bub's cool. PJ's cool. Steve's cool. You know what I mean? Like people speak of us and like individually outside of the collective as cool guys. So when they look at us collectively, they're like, yeah, they was all like cool ass dudes. And some people don't even think about the band about it. You know what I mean? Like that's where we stem from. Like, you know what I mean? Where we kind of came as collective, but that just is a testament to, like y'all said, like of who and what we are. And it just, the energy and vibe can just pick up. And I think that's what like transition and carried us over time. I think like when people see this, like, damn, y'all just still cool as fuck. Like, you know what I mean? You're cool dads, you cool puppy dads and shit. You know
Like
what I mean?
literally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like literally up in this
Oh,
joint.
this
You know
nigga
what I'm
up here,
saying?
hand combing his beard and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Literally cool pops over
and
here.
we carried a lot of positive energy. You know what I mean? Like straight up.
Yeah,
shit.
another thing I think that helped us over the years is all those trips that we took in our younger years, man. That those are just bonding experiences. We didn't necessarily look at it like that. It was just us,
Nah.
you know, traveling, but you know, those are just straight bonding experiences, which gives you, you know, memories and things that we can still talk about to this day.
And I want to
Yeah.
plug that now that you brought that up. I really want
Nah,
to
because
plug.
you took us to Mr. Corey's house on Christmas Eve for no reason. At 2 o'clock in the morning.
That was the worst fucking
Don't
shit
plug that
ever.
shit.
Ever.
You said-
Anything about that was bad,
and we had our first experience with Bugs with a transgender that was 6'7" tall at a pizza inn.
At a pizza Inn. That wasn't me. I ain't had no. No, it wasn't. What
Yeah,
pizza
it
Inn?
was. Remember that bootleg Pizza Hut place you took us to on the way back?
You called it Pizza Inn?
It wasn't Pizza Hut.
It was a pizza inn. You know pizza inns. Listen. Bugs was like,
Where
damn,
was it?
that woman's tall as hell. But it was a transgender. But this guy, I think it was like 2000, like 2001. It was a dude that was 6'7", but he was, you know what I mean? But Bugs was like, yo, that chick's kind of tall. It was like, my man. Like, he was like, that was like my man. Like, you know, like to PJ's point about trips, so my fault. Like, but a 6'7" transgender in 2001,
Yo, that was
Dennis
crazy.
Rodman.
nothing was PC.
Oh man. Y'all still had fun though. Yeah.
I mean, but that right there, that trip though, even though it was some weird things that happened, it was still a testament to us being friends. It was like Christmas Eve Eve, and we drove down to VA to pick Bugs up. You know what I mean? So he can come back. So.
Yep. That's true.
I mean, we had.
But I'm gonna plug something right quick. I'm gonna let the.
Go ahead.
Hold on, right quick. Let me put this out there while it's fresh in my mind, cause like this stayed with me, and I don't even know if I told y'all like what it meant, but it stayed with me. Now, keep in mind, I moved down to VA in '98, June of '98. I moved down here, and I've been down here ever since. And I'll come home like occasionally, like once every 2 years or 3 years, and this is that and the third. But it was a time the fellas was taking trips. I ain't make the trips like New York, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I ain't make the trips. Or I ain't come home like after like 05, 06. I ain't come home for like 3-4 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm out of touch. I'm this, that, and the third. But as a testament to this bond and this brotherhood and this friendship, some people in their mind will wonder where they stand. Like, is we still cool? Are we still this? Are we still that? I've been out of the loop. They taking trips. They taking this. And, in my mind, I'm not going to say, well, I still felt like, I never felt like I wasn't included, even looking at the pictures not being there. But I'm going to say this and I'm going to plug this as a true testament of the brotherhood and the bond. December the 9th, 2009, my mom passed. And that was one of the hardest things I had to go through. I had to drive home solo. I drove home solo. I'm on the highway, tore up, done, coming home. And Bub, it called me. It's like, yo, when you come in, he was like, you here? I said, nah, I ain't there. I said, I'm like an hour and a half. I think I said an hour and a half, 2 hours out. He said, okay. He said, well, let me know. I said, I got you. So I said, well, I'm going to be there. And then I tell him I'm getting in the city or something. I text Bob. But when I pull up to my house, and we talking about December the 9th, this is winter time. All the queue is out front of my house, standing there waiting for me to get there. I ain't been on no trips. I ain't been in touch like I should. I ain't did none of that. They were still there, though. The first ones there as soon as I get in the city and pull up to the house, standing outside my house waiting for me to get there. We greeted each other, and the first thing out their mouth, what you need and what can we do? And I ain't going to never forget that. And I ain't even went back and told y'all that. But y'all have no idea what that meant to me in that moment. And that's why I always tell y'all, I love you, this, that, and the third. And as always, if you need me, call me. And I mean that to a fault. And I'm so sorry.
It was cold as fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Niggas outside, like, it was cold as fuck. But,
see what I'm talking about?
but nah, the thing is,
we can't stay serious too long, fam.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But no, on some real shit though, like, come on, man, like, why would we not be out there? That's a different level of what that shit is. Like, like Bugs, you just kicked off something that I think we should all just touch on for everybody. Like, everybody give one of their favorite experiences with the Q. Like, you know what I mean? Because Bugs set it off with that, and that's mad sentimental and it's mad true about what we have. But I think the people would like to know, like, couple of our stories. Like, which one of your favorite? Cause we done a lot of shit. We done had dinners. We done had Ohio's, Phillies, New York's. You know what I mean? People that did drop drills. People done danced to Mary J. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we have a lot of different things. You know
hold on, bro. Y'all done did drop drills.
Yeah. People was on. She was on 106 in Park before. It's a whole lot of shit, man. Like, like. So, who want to start with one of their best? I mean, one of their funniest experiences.
Yo,
Bugs already started, so.
I mean, the first one that comes to mind is you hitting that house in VA.
Oh man!
Because don't hit the house. I ain't about to hit the house. Don't.
Yeah, but remember the reason I was turning was because we were supposed to be meeting Bugs, and while I was out that line, like my cousin, we should go to Virginia Union, Virginia State, one of the two. You remember that, Bugs?
I think it was Union, right?
Yeah, Union.
So
Union
we cooling with her half the day. She goes to go change. We go somewhere, and like I make a U-turn, but it's down this long ass wrong street. This is during the times where MapQuest was the only thing. So those instructions don't change. That paper shit, you just gotta read it. So I drive up on somebody's lawn. Drive up on. It was like, yo, you gonna hit the house? Man, I'm not gonna hit the house. Boom, hit the house. And then we out of there, like, you know. My car suffered more damage than anything. So, like, it was crazy. And then we were supposed to be bugged at that party. Remember?
Yeah. That whole shit was wild. Them
That just highlights Bug being stubborn Bug that he is, man.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody clearly telling
the
you
house is on my side, and I'm looking at the house. Like,
Bug, don't hit the house. I ain't gonna hit the house.
Yo, the house ain't gonna move if I turn right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was my logic. You know what I'm saying? Like,
classic Bug. Like,
it ain't gonna move. It ain't gonna move out the way.
What you got, PJ? You got something?
Yeah, one. There's so many, but I think no, that's not what he was talking about. But I guess it was me, Bub, and Shad, I think, in Philly. When we went to the party in the church, man.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Dancing, like
on the University
drinking,
of Penn campus.
Right, yeah. In a church, man. It was just
in
like
a church.
The things going on in a church that was that's a
hold on. Y'all went to a party in a church, bro.
Yeah.
We went to Temple and slept on somebody's floor in the dorm room.
I ain't slept on nobody's floor. You slept on the floor.
That's how I had that boring. I had that boring sleeping bag.
Here, Bugs. So the original GQ page that was on Black Planet, right?
Yeah.
Let us to, you know, what Go say? Hell yeah, we fuck fans, right? So we went to Temple. We went to Temple, right? I'm just gonna graze it, right? This is all graze over, bro. So just follow me, right? So we go. I'm like I said, I'm spearheading. Like you said, the girl that wanted to say hi to Bub looked like Reggie Miller, and not even like Cheryl. She looked straight like Reggie. Now this is what happened. So I'm like, damn. I'm like, like 7 seconds. You know what I mean? 9.7 seconds. So the rest of the time, you know, Shot's doing that literally the whole time. He's laughing like that. PJ's being civil because he's always cool. You know what I mean? Their friends weren't ugly, so that's what makes it even weaker. And they had a dorm at one of those quads. One of those quad dorms. They said, we're going to a party, so we take the subway. We end up at the University of Penn, but it's a chapel. The entire church is completely dark, and people was in there fucking and grinding. And then none of this is exaggeration, though, bro. This was crazy.
None of it.
We walked in. I got on an outfit. This boy has on the same outfit. And he goes, yo, we should take a picture together. We got the same outfit on.
No.
That ain't what happened? All this happened. It's completely dark. Then there's these dudes and this chick. They all like, these dudes got this chick and they're watching her dance. And they just like rubbing their jaws. Like, it's crazy. And like a huddle.
It was a crazy ass party.
Weird as shit. I forgot all about that time. Like, but Shaw's the only one to step on the floor because he didn't want to be bothered with the ugly chick. Like, PJ's a team player. If he did that, you know what I mean?
Reggie Miller.
No, but nobody fucked fans. Like, I'm just saying that. We just was like, no, you learn Internet 101. Pictures are different than what people look like in real life.
Pictures are different.
Way before.
True story. Just
But the church, but it was definitely crazy because it was a chapel and it was only a light for about like 6 feet where you could see it. And everything else in there was just crazy. People dancing on pews, grinding and dancing. It was nasty, yo. It was crazy.
That's
University
crazy.
of Penn, though.
It sounds crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Side, you got one?
Yo, there's so much shit that can't be said on this show.
Say something.
I'm just saying, there's so many things that have happened that cannot be said on this show.
Hold on. I just want to say one thing to Shad before he gets started. Yo, I respect you and appreciate you because now's the time, my brother. I'm gonna plug this. Give me like 30 seconds. Me and Shy one day were in the band.
Commercials.
We were the only two in the band room. The only two in the band room, and we had this little football. We was throwing this football from one side. He already know, that's why he laughing. He was on one side of the band room. I was on the other. Yeah, we throwing this jump, running back and forth, catching it. Now he way on the other side. I'm way on the other side. So he throw this long john, and I'm running. I don't even know where this carpet came from on the hardwood floor. But when I tell you I slipped and my feet went above my head, all I know is I landed on like my neck. Shy turned his back and ran out the bedroom. He ain't gonna laugh at me. But
I thought he was dead.
Yo, I hit that floor hard as a mother. To this day though, he ain't never tell a soul, man, because I know I'd have ran with it. But
Just
to this day, I
random
respect
piece of
you,
carpet appeared.
bro.
He ran. It was, you know how like they had the drum set, and then the drum set set on the carpet so like it wouldn't slide.
Yeah.
So Bugs was like running over there and like hit that carpet and like just.
Bro, if you'd have seen it, it was crazy. I know it was crazy because it felt crazy. I was so thankful, bro. Wasn't nobody in there beside, and he held that. At least as far as I know, he held that story to this day. Yo,
I ain't tell nobody. It's that's not something that you could like tell without the visual. Like it's, yeah.
Yo, that was crazy as hell, bro.
I got a couple. So, Long Island was hilarious when the door opened up.
Central Iceland, probably toothpaste. It's always referenced toothpaste.
When the door opened up, like hilarious. And then the Ohio trip. That was
which one?
That was the one that we went to the. Yeah, we went to the strip club.
That's my story because Eddie was in there illegal. We're grown now, so we can say it. And you could touch women, and he was fascinated you could touch women. And I'll never forget the fact that he realized he could touch every woman, so he literally touched every woman in the strip club. Shout out Eddie. He was like, "Oh my god,
you can do that! You can do that! Yo, give me a dollar!"
Every woman in the strip club, and I don't even know if they're 6'5", 280 pounds. They was like, "Oh, okay." Oh man, like
that strip club was wild.
Yeah, I think we it's just a testament that black men can stay friends, can show love. You're gonna fight, you're gonna have ups and downs. No fucking in and outs, because I don't even know what the fuck that means. Like,
see, that's why you doubt it, because you don't know what it means. Just fit the stereotype. Black people don't talk about what they don't understand.
And the thing is, the thing is, I think that people forget though is that you are human, so you still are gonna have fights. They just shift in the way you're gonna have them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but keep a true friendship. You value a friend, so you'll always come back as long as it's not nothing negative or super toxic. And I think that's why we're where we're at now.
No, I think something that saves our friendship is the fact that there is 6 people. So when you have 2 people beefing, there's 4 other people that's going to jump in and be like, "Yo, mediate this," and you kind of get involved to a degree. Sometimes you step away and you just let it, you know what I mean, the smoke clear. But when you have other people invested in that same friendship, it's like, you know, your friendship's bigger than the problem, and you figure it out. I think that's important too.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm done.
Most definitely. But
yeah, don't get so silent, y'all. Y'all getting all sentimental and
nah, man, just reminiscing mentally. But everything good though. Everything good, and we still here.
Still here.
We still here.
Still work in progress. Still figuring it out.
Everything rolling. And Steve still can't stand us. So it is what it is. We good.
Oh man.
Did Steve give a story?
Him hitting the house.
He don't like y'all.
Right, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because my other favorite story was just me and him, so that don't really count. Venturing into the lane of Schuylkill Haven.
Oh, that shit was suck. When me and Sean,
I want to hear it. Nah. I want to hear that. Nah, that was on the low for a reason. I want to hear that.
Schuylkill Haven's in the same, almost in the same vein as Long Island. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
all I can say is there was a magic sweater that.
The
I
what?
didn't think there was a magic,
sweater, a dominatrix,
bro.
the time that racism forgot.
Bro, I need to hear this story, bro. Y'all gonna have to tell me when I see all that. I want to hear this.
Yo.
Y'all gonna have to tell
All
me.
right, so look.
this.
They told us, they was like, look,
In both
on
of
the
them,
way there, you're going to think you lost. Don't stop and ask for directions. We ain't listen.
Man,
We stopped at this
listen.
fucking store. I swear it was, had a motherfucker on the porch playing a banjo and shit.
tumbleweed, just like that, for real.
They was like, yo, don't stop. Just keep going down. You going to make it. And we went in there, and asked them how to get there. They just looked at us. They ain't want to tell us shit. We're like, oh, I guess.
Definitely looked at where the fuck did these goddamn goats come from? Yo,
exactly.
they really looked at us like somebody gave us the instructions, but like you young, you don't listen. He's like, yeah, right. And then like even the parking, it was crazy. Like we'll tell you off the air. That's a different story, but.
Yeah. Oh, but yo, the other thing about the trip when he hit the house, that fucking waitress at what was it, Applebee's? She had the fattest ass, yo.
She did have them joints.
Yo, she did, yo. And I swear she had them khakis that was like 3 sizes too small on. Yo, yeah.
But
then y'all like over tip her because of that?
He did. Look, he did.
I didn't really over tip her because I had to cover Girlie's friend's meal. So like, I mean, she had the right tip for what I paid for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seemed like an over tip. And since we didn't go to the strip club, I had extra tip money, so.
It was a strip club at the Applebee's.
No, but if we would have went to the strip club, I wouldn't have had the tip money to give the waitress with them cheeks. So, it all
worked out. Yeah. Yo, that's what's up. That is.
Anything else for anybody that they want to throw out there? Just. Yeah, we do got some wild stories. I just thought about how it can't really be said.
It's some wild stories. We're gonna leave a lot of that where it's at.
Just like that picture we got where the person's blacked out. We told on 9 people in Harrisburg. And, Bugs is people.
It would be my peoples. Here we go. There go my peoples. I don't even know what pic y'all talking about.
I wasn't there.
I'll tell you off the air.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I can't help who jumped in the picture.
I can't.
That was Bugs and Eddie's man. We'll say names later. Different time, different place. I'll tell you off the air, man. But I think people ready. Like people always ask about that picture. You see, they be like, "Who's that?" Nah.
They need to delete that from the Google search engines. That should need to go.
I mean, it's a time now. It should be the time where everybody know who the 6 members of the Q are in general, no matter who in the extra picks. You know what I mean?
It's the world of RICO charges. I want nothing to do with that.
He's good. He's hiding in North Carolina.
Bro, y'all play too much.
But yeah. But for us, we 6 strong. We still here to another 20 years. Because by then PJ would be 86, and then Bugs would be 84. So
well, I'm older than Bugs now.
You're older than both. You're both old as hell.
Yo, I'm about to stop counting birthdays though, bro, because I stopped aging. Like I'm going backwards. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to keep counting. It's irrelevant. This year's my. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just stop.
Now you definitely becoming a woman because women be like, I'm 25.
First off, I never be a female. Never be, because I have things that I love too much. But anyway,
yeah, rap this. This is about
I guess some of them do too, though.
All right, we're done.
Yeah.
All right, see, you starting again, man.
I thought we was.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bugs.
You go wrap it up, Bugs?
All right, people.
No,
listen.
he ain't wrapping shit up.
This is the Q. I'm going to keep my comment to myself. You know what it is. The usual suspects. So many other places you could be, but you decided to be here with us. And we thank you for that and your continued support. So, as we depart, y'all be happy, be safe, but most of all, be you. Q out.
Peace.
Peace.